Good morning, everyone. Last 2 weeks rather, we actually did the first lecture, which would have been chapter 6. Right. Okay. Good. So let's just do a review quickly of that first lecture, which is managing small business startups, and we're gonna go through the things we did. We looked at a definition for entrepreneurship. Right. We looked at a definition of entrepreneurship. We spoke about the different types of small business owners. I think somehow this sounds very familiar to me. So I think we did this first part, and then we went. Last week we went on to hours of work. I'm just gonna jump right into the. I think last week we started off from slide 16, which is hours worked by new business owners, and I remember telling you all that. Um, Especially for a new business, you're not going to be operating your normal 40-hour week. Expect that you're going to have to be putting in 50, 60, 70, 80, sometimes even 90 hours a week because it's very intense. You have to be committed, you have to be dedicated. Reasons for starting a business versus and not versus that and sources of new business ideas. We looked at that slide as well. Business plan. This is where we touched on the business plan that we have. We're going to get into detail sometime late, if not, well, not this week, next week, most likely. What your business plan supposed to have, your vision, your financial projections, target market, where you're going to get your money, how you're going to spend your money, management team. I think I remember telling you all that in addition to your business plan, I remember mentioning something called the elevator speech. Can someone remind me what the elevator speech is about? Can someone remind me what the elevator speech is about? It's like a 1 minute pitch of your idea. Good. Yes, Shakila. It's a 1 minute pitch of your. Oh, it's a very short. It may not be 1 minute. It may be 2 minutes, all depends on how much floors you have to go. But yes, it's a very short, concise pitch of your business idea. Um, you can give it. It's like a very, very condensed version of a business plan, and I encourage you all to take a look at Shark Tank, and you'll see how these things. Shark Tank, right? Good. Then we went on to talk about the different options in Trinidad and Tobago: sole proprietorship versus partnership versus corporation, debt financing versus equity financing for sure. We spoke extensively about. Um, Debt financing is you borrow from a financial institution. They don't own anything. They don't own the company, but they are giving you a loan that is to be repaid. So they have no ownership interest versus equity financing where you get money from someone or a group and they have equity interest, meaning that they have ownership interest in the business. And we looked at starting a new business versus buying an existing business. I remember talking extensively about goodwill and explain to you all. I went on to explain to you all what goodwill is and how goodwill becomes a cost when selling an enterprise that has been around for some time. We looked at the 5 stages of growth for an entrepreneurial company, which is existence, survival, success, takeoff, and resource maturity. Managing a growing business, I know I said planning must be there from the beginning because, and even throughout, because you must always be planning. But formal planning happens usually happens at the success stage, organizing, outsourcing, leading. Leading is a very, very important part of managing a growing business. Controlling finances, making sure you're actually making money and you're not making money. All right. So that was a review of last week's lecture. Just correct me. We did not we did not touch on managerial goal setting, right? So we're gonna do that this week. Right. Defining goals and plans and explaining relationship between them. How organizations, missions, and how it can influence goal setting and planning. And here we're gonna talk about the right. And yesterday in yesterday's class we looked at management by objectives, and today we're gonna look at it even more. Right. Good. Somehow this seems familiar. Guys, did we do this last week? So let me confirm here. Guys, did we do managerial goal setting last week? I just wanted to confirm. I thought we didn't. If we did already, then we can go on to another lecture, which would be we didn't. Okay, but it just seems so fresh in my mind. All right, well, let's go. Let's go. Let's get it done. Because remember, guys, that some of these topics would overlap with farm admin, so you would already get introduced to some of the concepts already. All right. Right. So a goal is a desired future state that the organization attempts to realize. So I know we have been saying that goals and plans should be smart, goals, plans, objectives should be smart, but at times in your own organization, you can distinguish or you can, these goals and objectives can sometimes be interchanged in terms of where they are used strategically. So, some company can use the word goal to mean a single long-term objective, and other companies can use objective to mean a single long-term goal. So, the words can be at times interchanged, but the outcome is essentially the same in that your goals and objectives should be something that is measurable, something that is specific, and something that is attainable in a timely fashion. A blueprint a plan, sorry, is a blueprint specifying the resource allocation schedules and other necessary actions. So a plan is an exact guide on how something is going to be done based on the time constraints and based on the resources that you have. Planning one of the most fundamental management functions, and it can be the most controversial one because when you have to sit and plan amongst a group, um, you will have different persons coming with different perspectives that can lead to controversy if the lead that was taken in the planning stage didn't work out as well. But however, planning is very, very fundamental, as I've been saying in the last lecture. If you don't plan properly, even from the beginning of your entrepreneurial activity, you're going to find yourself in problems. As we say in local parlance, you can't operate Viki, you can't operate by VAPs. You have to try your best and brainstorm and plan. Brainstorm and think of scenarios that you are going to be encountering and plan for them. Because we all know sometimes our best plans fail. So you can imagine if you didn't plan at all, and then now you are faced with so many things that you did not expect at all whatsoever. So planning is very controversial. It's also the most fundamental thing of an organization. And on slide number 6, you're going to see the orientation of how goals and plans are in an organization. So the mission statement and the vision statements usually sit at the top, and those would feed into an overall goal or um, an overall idea as to where we would like to take the company. And you would see senior management creates strategic goals and plans. And usually at the senior management level, the strategic goals and plans are usually a few things that are fed from the board of directors through the vision and mission statements, of course, being their guide. So the board of directors are going to say to the senior management team, we would like to gain this amount of market share. We would like to gain, we would like to acquire this old company. We would like to acquire this new company. And now they now create strategic goals and plans, the senior management that looks at the organization as a whole strategically to create their goal and to create their plan for that specific purpose. That now would feed down into tactical goals and plan, which is the middle management. What are things that the middle management team would need to do in order to facilitate the achievement of this strategic goal? All right. Your middle management would be your HR, your finance, your operations, all of these things. And at the bottom level, you have your operational goals and plans, which is your departments, individuals, your frontline management um, team, your frontline staff as well. What are their operational goals and plans? All right. So let's just imagine an example that we can go through. Um, for a community pharmacy setting. Let's think of a plan or something that we want to do that we can apply this different level of strategy to. Um, your mission statement is you want to be. Uh, let's just think of something quickly. You want to be known as the pharmacy that has the most amount of products, as in the pharmacy that has the widest variety of products. Or your board of directors would say, we do not want customers at all to be coming into your store and not getting what they want. They want that to happen never. So strategically, your senior management team would now have to say, well, how do we go about assuring this? And they would ask, they would then meet and they would look at their finances to see if they can actually afford to purchase enough stock and to have the right amount of turnover delivery on time to ensure that their shelves aren't out of stock. So when customers come for certain things that they don't have based on what their board of directors have asked. Then from a management from a tactical middle management position now, these guys, which would be your inventory manager, your operations manager, they are now going to be starting to look very closely as to when the items are running out, the items have to be returned, when it's ordering done, and operationally, your frontline team, they're the ones now are going to be interacting with your customers that can now make that buy and make that commitment with them when they do come, and just in case that they don't get product, that the lower level management now can ensure that the customers are assured that they will be getting it maybe later today, maybe delivered. So that's just a rough example as to how you can apply your strategic, tactical, and your operational goals. And if you look at those circles on the outside, by having goals and plans in your organization, externally, it gives legitimacy for investors, for customers, suppliers, and the community. It would mean that when they look at your organization and they see that you have a mission statement, you have a vision statement, you actually have, and in some of these organizations, you actually have values and goals as well written on a document. It gives that legitimacy feeling that the company is definitely have its head on the shoulder, is going in a particular direction, and internally as well, it gives motivation and provides guidance for employees who are there so that they can always quickly make a reference to their mission statement, make a reference to their department goals, their department plans for that particular period, and use that for their motivation and guide. All right, so goals and plans are done strategically, tactically, and operationally, and their internal and external messages for by having such goals and plans existing. Right? But slide number 7 just talks about those circles on the outside that I just mentioned. Mission statement. We getting a little deep into what your mission statement and what your vision statement is now. And we're not going to, the lecture doesn't have visions, but still want to touch on it with you guys. I would have mentioned this as well in farm admin. A vision statement is one that might seem to be unattainable, but it's usually something that is simple yet grand. If you follow what I'm saying, a vision statement, sorry, vision statements are usually simple yet grand and somewhat unattainable. So a vision statement must be something that must be is a dream. Your vision is a dream of something that might not be able to be attained, but it's usually something very grand and usually something very simple. And a simple example of that is how you can word your vision to mean, to state, for example, our vision is to always be the number one organization in this particular field. By using the word always, you are now giving an impression as though you will, when you do reach that position, you will never drop from that position. So if you understand how the wording usually comes in there. So your vision is something grand to always be the number one organization in that particular field would mean that you have to make extensive amounts of effort to maintain that position, which is somewhat unattainable. I don't know if you, I hope you're following what I'm saying. So a vision usually says that there are lots of effort that is going to be made to try and attain that vision, and that vision is usually simple, but it's going to require a lot of effort. That's why it's a grand vision. That's why it seems as though it's sometimes unattainable, right? So that's vision. And your vision statement would feed into your mission statement. Your mission statement is the reason or reasons for the organization existing. So if it is that you have an intention of always being the number one, the number one organization in your field, then you will have to embark on a really ambitious mission. And that mission would involve several things. As the management team, as an executive management team, I would expect you to be able to brainstorm and analyze your vision and then come up with some simple steps. Again, I want to reiterate the term simple, because you do not want your vision to be busy, as in a whole lot of a big long paragraph. And likewise, you do not want your mission statement or your mission statements to be a whole page of information. No, it must be kept simple, and it must now um, filter down from your grand vision, filter down into your mission statement to be maybe 4 or 5 at most simple steps that gives the community, that gives the viewer a clear idea of what the reason your organization is existing for. Okay, so we are doing community pharmacy. Um, it would be a good idea. I would like to get some visions from you all. Well, you will be doing visions and missions for your business plan. So I guess I'll see it then. But if you all want to get some practice, you can send me WhatsApp, or if you want to do it during this class, send me some ideas of what your vision would be for a community pharmacy. What your vision could be on your life. I've mentioned this before, that individually as well, we ought to have visions for ourselves. And when we have visions for ourselves, so I have to put this in there, individual visions would lead to your individual visions would lead to individual missions and would help give you self-guidance as an individual. And that is going to reflect as well when you are part of an organization. That type of thinking is going to reflect when you're part of a department. You may go into the department at the lowest possible level, but your thinking is what is going to lead you into management level. All right. So have a vision for yourself, and I want you all to practice this. This is something that requires practice, because as science students, not all the time you are in tune with doing these types of things. Now I know some of you, most of you, few of you. may have had visions for yourselves from early on in life. And those visions may have been influenced by parents, your relatives, your friends, as to where you want to be in life, what you want to achieve in life, where you want to go in life. And that's an example of creating yourselves into having self vision and self mission. So, for those of you who haven't done that as yet, I encourage you to sit down and take a topic. Let's just take a topic of um, traveling. Take a topic of child health. Take a topic of um, construction, um, landscaping, anything, any kind of topic that you might have a liking for, or you have an affinity toward. Look at that topic and you create a vision that if you were the one responsible for that particular um, segment or that particular discipline, whether be it engineering, whether be it art, whether be it whatever it is, and you start practicing what visions are, what how to go about envisioning. Remember, I said visioning is dreaming, is having a dream of something that other people simply didn't have, and it's usually it can be very unique. All right. So I want you all to practice on that. So the mission statement broadly states the basic business scope and operations that distinguishes it from similar type organizations. It may include the market and customers, and some may describe company values, product quality, attitudes towards employees. So this is nice, it's a nice good statement here to give you all a guide on what your mission statement would look like. All right. Um, and when you take a look at the business plan, when we take a look at the business plan later on, you would see how mission statements can be read. It may not be perfect, but it will be a good guide. You can actually go on any large organization, you should be able to see their vision and their mission statements. All right. So remember, the mission statement tells the audience, whoever is listening, which is your customers, the reason why we exist, and we exist because we are intending to achieve a particular vision. We exist by doing these things. We open late. We um, we apply the best prices on our products. We have rules on certain items that are sold because we care about the community. All of these things can be made into your mission statement so that the community that you serve will have an idea of who you are and what you stand for. All right. I hope you guys are on this, Karishma. Yes, you can. Yes, yes, Karishma. Yes, I can agree with that statement. The difference between a mission and a vision is that the mission is usually attainable. Yes, the mission statement usually sometimes can be metric based. It can be at times metric based. You don't want it to be too metric based, but it can be metric based. So yes, that's a good way, guys. Karishma has said the difference between a mission and a vision is that the mission is usually actually very attainable. So yes, very good. Thank you very much, Karishma. So I hope you all are understanding when we talk about mission and vision. All right, good. And then we have here on slide number 10 an example of a drug company called Bristol Myers Squibb. Um, and our company's mission is to extend and enhance human life by providing the highest quality pharmaceutical and related healthcare products. Now, this is a good mission. It's short, it's succinct, um, and it is attainable by saying that they can extend and enhance human life. Um, so it's a good mission statement. And I just want you all to note the name of the company is Yes, yes, Karishma. Yes. The answer is yes. A mission statement is actually attainable, and we are saying that a vision should be somewhat unattainable. So the answer is yes. Um, I want to draw your attention to the slide. The name of the company is Bristol Myers Squibb. Bristol Myers Squibb. That's three companies. Most likely, I have to confirm, but most likely those may have been three separate companies. Bristol, Myers, and Squibb. So Bristol probably first acquired Myers, and then this this merger then acquired Squibb. And I'm saying that because in the pharmaceutical world, in the world of commerce, you have lots of mergers and lots of acquisitions. Tell me, tell me, in social media, what you could say social media, or you could say in technology, of any acquisitions and mergers that you are familiar with. We can go with social media, we can go with technology as a whole, because I'm using those examples because I know you guys would be in tune with social media and in tune with technology, being part of the younger group. Does anyone know? Mergers and acquisitions amongst social media companies or technology companies. All right, Alexis, Instagram and Facebook. Yes, Alexis, correct. Facebook and WhatsApp. Yes, correct. Kavita P, you're in the dance with us today. What happened yesterday? Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. Yes. Marvel and Sony. Marvel and Sony? Really? Leandra? I thought Marvel was acquired by Disney. Or is it Marvel acquired Sony and then Disney acquired that merger? Which is it? Marvel and Disney. Yes, Caleb, I thought so. Disney acquired Marvel. Disney and FOS. Who's FOS Studios? Who is FOS Studios? Kavita P? Fox? Really? Disney acquired Fox? Are learning new stuff here? I didn't know that. You sure about that? All right, but yes, that's the those are some general examples. Now, you can imagine Facebook acquiring Instagram, acquiring WhatsApp, and I think there was something else they acquired. But Google and Android. Google Alexis, I think Google and Android is not an acquisition, and I think Android is a Google owned company, as in they created Android. You're making me real think about this thing now. Alexis, you sure about that? Merger? I don't think it was I think Google always owned the Android operating system. I think so. You're making me want to research this now. But yes, so you all got the point that mergers happen amongst like companies. Um, there was this company called Yahoo. Yahoo bought, which company was it, boy? Can't remember now. But I remember, yeah, yeah, was it WhatsApp? Yahoo, right? Yahoo actually attempted to buy Facebook when Facebook had just got off the ground. I think Facebook was probably about 1 or 2 years old. So Yahoo is an old player in this game. The guys at Yahoo are very, very old players in this technology race and software race. And they attempt to buy a whole lot of startup companies, and they attempted to buy Facebook. And Facebook, well, thankfully they didn't sell. And look at where they are today. Facebook has become the leading communications app in the world. Good. So glad that we discussed that point. So getting a little more deep into it now, we are going to talk about strategic goals. And we're going to talk about strategic, tactical, and operational. We are at 8:44, so we'll take a break as scheduled around 8:55, okay? Strategic goals, where the organization wants to be in the future, pertains to the organization as a whole. We discussed that. The strategic plans, remember the plan is the blueprint. The goal is where you want to be. The plan is the actual blueprint that says, okay, we need to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm encouraging you again, guys. Think about this in your normal daily lives, and you can look at it from the perspective of your exams. I know all of you get very queasy when we start to talk about exams. Your goal is to pass your exams. Some of you have a goal to get the highest marks in exams. Some of you have a goal to focus on this course alone. How do you now go about getting those things done? And that's where your plan and your blueprint is. Your plan would be, okay, limit your social media time, to set aside specific periods for study and of this topic of that course. I want you all to be following. I want you all to reflect on your own personal life and your own perhaps small things that you have done so far, that see that it can be replicated from small to large. Goals and plans, strategic goals and plans. All right. Um, and yes, so strategic tends to be long term. Tactical applies to your middle management, and it helps to define the outcomes of the major departments and divisions that they must achieve. Again, tactical plans are designed to help execute on strategic plans and have a shorter time frame than strategic plans. Okay? And finally, we have the operational goals, which are are much more specific and definitely must be smart, because this is as the smallest that you can get. So it must be smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And the operational plans are the usual, again, blueprint for daily and weekly operations. Here is where you have a lot of scheduling and monitoring. So monitoring happens at all levels, but it's even more so at this base level, because this is where I like to say, at the operational level, is where the magic happens. And what do I mean by that? At the operational level, at that base level, where you actually have your customers interface with your organization, customers, organization, interface. This area here is at your operational level. This is where your staff has the only opportunity to now engage a customer and create a purchase. So I call it that. I used to say this is where the magic happens because strategically, the CEO and the CFO, they are not the ones who are getting the sale. The middle management are not the ones getting the sale. The middle management are not the ones ensuring that the sale goes through. It is at your operational level, your frontline managers, your frontline staff, they are the ones that need to get it right. So it feeds from above and filters all the way down, and we want it to be filtered properly all the way down so that your operational guys can get the contract made with the customer. All right. And again, you could think about that huge gap from your executive level to your operational level. Your executives are saying increase the customer base, increase the customer base, and way down, filtering down straight down to your operational level, something as simple as smile with each customer and engage them and greet them politely. That the right there is an operational goal and an operational plan that you can now implement for the purpose of achieving your strategic goal of increasing your customer base. Because we all know if you go to a store or if you go to an organization and you are treated well and you are cared for as a customer, you are most likely going to be returning to that organization for that same service. All right. I'm saying this because I want you to make the connection of how a strategic objective that's broad, that may not be understood by those at the front line, increase customer base, but it can now filter down into specific things that the operational team can do in order to achieve the objective of increasing your customer base. All right? You understand? I hope you guys are understanding and grasping that point. All right, so the goal alignment, the strategic is top management, tactical middle management, operation is first line management and workers. As I just said, the means and chain. Achievement of goals at the lower levels permits the attainment of high level goals. You cannot have an organization that strategically has goals and objectives, but it does not filter down properly into the operational goals and objectives and plans. And operationally, you're doing crap and expect your your strategic goals to be achieved. So it must filter down. The executive team must be able to transfer their wishes and their desires to their middle management. Their middle management must be able to transfer their wishes and their desires to the operational team. And everyone must be in understanding. All right? So we spoke about goal set smart objectives, and you can see here specific, measurable, challenging but realistic, defined by a time period. So we'll go for a break now, and when we come back, we're going to look at the MBO process. We touched on the MBO process yesterday, and um, and that will take us for the second session of class 3. All right. Let me just take a quick look and see what our schedule looks like. After this class, we have PCG balance scorecard. Oh, good, good. So we should be completed by most likely by third week in October or end of October. We should be complete. All right. So we'll go for a break now. Before we go, any questions, any queries so far? Any questions, queries before we go for break? All right, guys. So I'll see you on the other side of 9 o'clock.